Hello and welcome to the biggest and probably last pickups video I will make, because now this is pickups not from like the last week or anything. This is pickups from the last month, and I can say now honestly I have pretty much all the games I want. Not all of them exactly, and it's never going to be over completely, because you know when it is, if first of all, if I made it over, I would be broke, because there's a lot of expensive games out there, and it's never going to be over anyway, because if I could always find another game system to collect for or whatever, you know, not saying that, but I am saying now that I will not go specifically out to look for games anymore. I will go if I'm somewhere and there's a game shop or a book off or whatever in the vicinity, I will go there just to out of curiosity, but I won't go specifically looking for games anymore. So I'm gonna try and keep this video as short as possible. I have a ton of games stuff to go through. I'm not gonna talk at great length. Just kind of quick. Really no game footage, just one picture. But besides, KeepVid has stopped working anyway. They got probably pinched by lawyers or something. I asked them, actually sent an email, asked them about it, and then they just gave some kind of bullshit reply. So yeah, they've probably got pinched by lawyers. Anyway, let's just get to it. I'm going to start with 6 games that actually aren't new. I just bought them to replace cartridges that I already have that are sort of dirty or not working that great. The prime example being Sayuki World 2, which is also known as Wampum. This cartridge, in the one I have in Sweden, is like semi-broken. It's like it's like opening, closing, whatever. It's to a degree that if I dropped it on the floor once, it would just go in a million pieces. So needed a replacement of that. The next game is Kunio-kun no Jidaigeki Dayo Zein Shugo, aka the River City Ransom, set in Edo period, pretty much. This one is very good shape. The one I have in Sweden always takes a few tries to get it to work. So next one is sort of a little bit of an exception, but it's Blaster Master. This one is better condition than the one I have, but the one I have is not in that bad condition. It's just that this one was so damn cheap anyway. It was 800 yen. I bought mine for like the equivalent of 4,000 yen or something. So I might be able to make a little bit of money on that one actually. But this one is in better condition. And then a few for Super Nintendo. One of the Super Nintendo games, Super Famicom games I have in Sweden that are in the worst condition is Super Mario Collection. And this one is in pretty good condition, not excellent, but it was also 480 yen. So these are going up in price in Japan anyway. They cost like 2,000 almost. Not crazy about that, but yeah. And lastly, X-Men. I actually found this this is a great condition actually, but it was in one of those. It was in, let me see here. It was in Osaka, in A2 in Osaka, and it was in this tray which were like all marked down for some reason, and they're like untested or whatever. There were no guarantees on them, but it worked. I tried it, and the other one I have is like dark yellow, so this is much better condition. Same sort of topic, Mega Man X5. The Mega Man X5 I have, this is like PlayStation, the best for family or whatever, but I didn't care because I just wanted another disc. Because my Mega Man X5, the music skips and stuff when I play the game, which I can't tolerate, so just bought it because it's cheap. Anyway, I just replaced the disc in the other one with this one. So, Well, on Mega Man, and the only PS2 game I bought was, I didn't quite want to buy it, but it's for the collection, and I should give it another chance. It's Mega Man X8. I actually like 7 more. Everyone hates 7, but I think 7 is okay. I did play this like 10 years ago or something. I got it for 3,000 yen. It's usually 4,000 or above. The thing is that this one is super duper frustrating as I remember it, but I've gotten a little better at games in that time, so I will give it another shot. More Mega Man, more PlayStation, but PlayStation 1. With PlayStation 1, because I'm aiming for a complete Mega Man collection, but not super complete either, because I'm skipping some stuff, like Mega Man and Bass for Game Boy Advance. I'm skipping it because I have it on Super Famicom. There's no need to get the game again, but a worse version with worse music, worse graphics, the screen size, and worse controls. Really no point. I got the Rockman Zero collection on DS instead of the 4 Game Boy Advance games because it has better screen, better controls. Rockman on PlayStation, I have a lot of games, but there's 7 more I don't have. I don't have Rockman X3, Mega Man X3, which is just an enhanced version of Mega Man X3, and I don't have the complete works, which is Mega Man 1 through 6 with added features. But I got one of them to try it out. It's Mega Man 2. It comes with a book. You can also buy these separate with just a regular case, but of course I like the book anyway. The book part is pretty much just a short strategy guide. It's nothing too special. Not sure if I haven't really tried the actual game yet. Some of them have remixed music, which is nice. But they cost like 2,000 to 3,500 each. Getting all 6 of them, it's gonna be a tall order. I got this pretty much to try it out, see if that's a path I'm willing to go down on. Not sure I'm going to do that. Alright, let's do some Famicom. One game here, Magic John by Jalico. It's actually called Totally Rad in Europe and America. It's a not that great platformer. When I've tried it in emulator, it doesn't come off as great. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it, but when I found it was 500 yen or something, willing to try it for that price. And if I want to like it sort of, because Magic John, that's a fun title, and it's one of these cartridges. Next, found it in Sapporo for 900 yen, which is at least 500 to 1,000 yen cheaper than usual. Adventure Island 3, I have 4 since before. Adventure Island 1 to 3 are all very similar, but 2 and 3 especially are very similar. I don't really want the first game because it's insanely hard. Figured I'd go with the next most recent one. Densetsu no Kishi Elrond, aka Wizards and Warriors. Great condition. I saw it before for like 500 yen in Hiroshima. But this one that I found in Osaka, I think, was like 900 or 800, but this is in a perfect condition almost. And it's Wizards and Warriors, and I'm not a huge fan of Wizards and Warriors, but willing for that price, this condition, willing to try it. Next, I should have done this in a different order, I guess, but it's Sayuki World, aka, I guess, 1.0. It's the game that came out before, obviously. And I didn't want to get it first because it came across as Kaiketsu Yanshamaru 1, which is like, feels primitive compared to the third game especially. So I thought that maybe 1.0 feels kind of like a Mega Man with an Indian, so I thought maybe the game that came out before would feel primitive, but looking at screenshots anyway, it doesn't look like it, but I haven't actually tried it yet. A game I had before, but I got rid of it because it didn't have, I think it didn't have continues, but I'm not sure I actually remember that right. It's Argos no Senshi, aka Rygar. It was cheap again, not as cheap as when I got it the first time. It was like 200 yen the first time I got it. This was like 500, but yeah. The problem is the Japanese version is not as good as the American version because the music on the first stage is not the same, unfortunately. And that music was great. It was like Superman it's like some kind of rip-off of the Superman theme, but it was great. So, but anyway, gonna try it again. 2 more games that are okay, but they were cheap. Well, cheaper anyway. Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru. This was known as Yonoid in the West, and it has one-hit kills, which I hate, and a really awkward first stage, and not really boss fights. But it is decent. I've seen it. It's on Game Center CX, and it could be decent, but yeah, I need to play it to decide. Tatakai no Banka, aka Trojan. Banka always gets me because banka is in Swedish. Banka means when you pound something. So pretty much, and Tatakai means fight. So fight, the pound of fight or something. But it's Trojan. It's from an arcade game. It's from an arcade game by Capcom. It has one-hit kills, but it has some decent controls. It feels like Kung Fu with a sword, but you can also lose the sword. It's really hard. I didn't quite like it when I tried it to test if the cartridge was working, but I'm going to give it a try. Now for the best 3 Famicom games I've got, and also the most expensive. In order, Kaiketsu Yanshimaru 3, which is hard to find. I had to buy this on Yahoo Auctions for like 5,000 yen or something. It's the first game is too primitive. The second game you could get stuck in the middle, and it was not that great anyway. The third game is actually, I think, it's the best of the bunch, even though the art style is not super duper. A lot of people know this as Super Mario 14, which is a weird hack that just puts Mario as the main character. But yeah, you have a stick. You can like attach it to a platform and bounce off. You can slide, and it's a good game. The second is a sequel to the game that came out in Japan and Europe only, Hammer and Harry. It's Daiku no Gensan 2, aka Hammer and Harry 2. Bought this for 5,800 after seeing it everywhere for 6,000 or above, including Anyhoo auctions. And then a few days later I see it for 4,000 in another store. But what are you gonna do? That stuff happens. When I played it in emulator, the scrolling looked all fucked up, so I just kind of like threw it out of my mind, like, oh, I'm never gonna get that game, it's broken or whatever. But when you actually play it on an actual system, it looks fine. So it's more Hammer and Harry. And lastly, if you're one of those to watch my other channel, you already know about this one, but it's fucking Gimmick. It's a fucking Gimmick. The most expensive game I ever bought. It cost 19,000 yen, 2,520 with tax. It was that usually goes for 33 to 35,000. Boxed, it's like 60 or 70. This was at Mandarake in Sapporo, and it was they call it big damage. Although I again don't see any. 19,000 is like, yes, a lot of money, but it's the cheapest I'm ever going to see it for, and reproductions don't actually reproduce it completely. So yeah, I went for it, and I'm glad I did. Gonna do segue now into Mega Drive to sort of keep on the theme of expensive games, even though I have to put this in between. Cheeky Cheeky Boys by Capcom, also called Mega Twins. The funny thing about this is it is Capcom. It's called Mega Twins. One guy's blue, one guy's red. The red guy has a mask and has this like white. It's Mega Man and Proto Man, right? But they're kids and they're in this weird LSD fever dream or whatever, but it's a good game and it's Capcom, and it was only 1,500. It usually goes for 3,000. So, and then the big one, the second, it's now the third most expensive game I ever got. It's Rockman Mega World, for real this time. This one, as you can compare it to the other one, has, you see this blue part instead. And the cartridge is brown like it's supposed to be, and it says Capcom on the cartridge in the back here. I don't remember if the other one did that or not. I haven't tried it yet, but I will. It came with a manual. The funny thing is that this store, it was 11,800. The store had two copies. One was with manual, one was without. Same price. So obviously then I was going to take the one with the manual, right? But there was like in this plastic box thing, and the one with the manual, when I looked at it, the cartridge pins looked a little damaged, so I asked them to switch the cartridges for me. So they're both the same price anyway. Can I buy the better cartridge with the manual? And I could. So, and in order to, because I have 7 Mega Drive games now, but I have my Mega Drive back in Sweden, so to pretty much be able to test them, and I'm not going to keep this around, I don't think, but pretty much to test them, I got this Mega Drive imitation thing. It's nice because it looks really like a Mega Drive. So, and the other one, the one I have in Sweden, is the Sega Genesis 3. But this is a copy anyway. Pretty much going to use it to test the games out. Comes with 2 controllers, whatever. Going to sell it later, but I need it to try the games. Super Nintendo. First 2 reproductions I got from South Korea that I maybe mentioned or didn't mention before or alluded to or whatever, but games that are too expensive otherwise, but I got them because I want them. First one is Hyper Area. It's not the super duper expensive. It's 10,000 to 12,000 here in Japan, the real version, but this one was 200 Swedish crowns or whatever, so of course I'm going to get this. It's a platformer with some shooting stuff, exploration. I don't know, it's kind of a unique game. I haven't really played it that much yet. But yeah, I have it now. Saved a bunch of money on that. And the next one is really one of those impossible ones, worse than Gimmick. It's Rendering Ranger R2, the most rare Super Famicom game ever. Of course, this is the Korean version, which was a fraction of the price, but it's actually it's a really good, but really hard, with really good graphics, side-scroller shooter, and apparently has some 2D shooting sections too, which is that's where I'm going to fail. You don't have any continues in the game, which is bad, but you do have passwords, which is good. So you pretty much have continues. Why they didn't just put in continues instead, I don't know, but good game made by Manfred Trenz, whoever, the guy who made Turrican. For some reason, only released in Japan, only released in like 6,000 copies. That's why when you see it boxed, it goes for over 200,000 yen. Right, so more Famicom. Now real Famicom games. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Found it for 480 fucking yen. Great condition. This is how I'm gonna get into the Dragon Quest series. I've decided. First, I got the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 for Game Boy Color many years ago. Sold it, quit on the whole thing, got it again here in Japan, sold it again, and now I've decided, okay, I'm doing it this way. But this game, RPGs are really cheap in Japan, but usually this goes for 1,500 or 2,000 or 1,000. Found it for 480, so this is how I'm doing it. One boxed game, Desaimon, only 800, so I had to try it. I have been aware of this before, but it's a game where you make your own 2D shooter, which is fun, and it's compatible with the fucking SNES mouse, and you can make music and design your ship and everything. I mean, but I've seen it before. It's cheap, but since this is boxed, the manual, which is pretty thick by the way, it's gonna come in handy. So I have Great Battle 4 and 5. Here's Great Battle 3, which is the beat 'em up. This was really cheap at 600. It usually goes for more. However, it's pretty bad condition. It's pretty damn yellow and has this blotch here, black blotch thing on the front. So not good condition. If I don't like the game that much, I'm definitely gonna try and sell it anyway. But it's dirty, whatever. Two games that I tried on emulator, found them to be pretty mediocre and not that good, not really worth getting. But I found them now cheap, and the first one is Ushio Totora. They're both side scrollers, by the way. You play plays this kid with a spear. You have this weird beast thing following you along or something. It has nice graphics. It looks like it's gonna be good, but as I remember trying it, it wasn't that good. But I'm gonna try one more time. And the second one is Musha. The game is calls itself Musia, but that's not correct. It's Musha. Why it says Musya is just because they're using the wrong way to transcribe Japanese. They're not using Hepburn, which is the correct style. That's what I call it anyway. So that's why they say Musya instead of Musha. But it's a nice looking, kind of like, it reminds me of Majuo a little bit, Castlevania. It looks nice, but as I recall, it was really mediocre. But now for 3 really good Super Famicom games. First, Wrecking Crew 98. Wrecking Crew was, of course, on the regular Nintendo, but this I thought only came out on this Nintendo Power Service, but it had a real cartridge also. 3,000 yen for this one. It's not just a simple remake, it has like a puzzle mode and all sorts of stuff. It looks pretty good. I actually haven't played it yet, but looks good. Here's a game that is very interesting, of course, because it's from Human Entertainment, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that much fun to play or whatever, but I definitely wanted to take the trip. It's Septentrion. Could have been called Poseidon, because that's what it is. It's pretty much the Poseidon adventure as a video game. You are on the boat, side-scrolling view. Then the boat capsizes, and then you have to make your way out. Choose your character, make your way out, save people along the way, and the boat like goes all around like this. So and the water fills up and stuff. So you have to make it in time. You have to save people. Blah blah blah. Apparently the escorting is really hard in this. But funny thing about this one is it's usually 6,000 yen in shops. Maybe 4,000 on Yahoo auctions, but I was at this book off in Kokusai Kaikan North Kyoto, bought some other stuff. Then I saw this for 3,500, but I got home. I didn't buy it. Got home, and I was like, did I really see it for 3,500? Because that's cheaper than it usually goes for. So I called them and asked them, Sepputentorion to you game wa ikura deshita ka? And they're like, 7,000. I'm like, what? 7,000? So I was like, okay, whatever, put it out of my mind for a while, then wanted to get it. So I went back up there to see if I was just dreaming or what, but no, it was there, 3,450, so I got it for below the price that is usually the price. Last one, the most expensive Super Famicom game I got, which is still a couple thousand, 2,000-3,000 cheaper than it usually is. It's Ninja Warriors again, a beat-em-up, side-scrolling beat-em-up, one plane only. Game, great graphics, decent gameplay, not that, a little yellow up here, but definitely not as damaged as you would think for 6,000 yen. The standard price though is 10,000. I've seen it a few times for 8, but yes. switch gears a little bit with 3 Nintendo DS games. 2 of them I only got cartridge only because they were 100 yen, I think. Zelda Spirit Tracks. Tried this before, didn't like it that much. Gonna try it again. And Blue Dragon Plus. Not a game I thought I would get actually, but for 100 yen, why the hell not? It's tried Blue Dragon on Xbox 360, didn't really like it except for this one song. And this one looks kind of like strategies. You can move your stuff around. Feels like Red Alert crossed with RPG. Could be okay, I don't know, but for 100 yen, who cares anyway? Then I got for 250 yen actually. I got this monstrosity. It's Pokemon Battle and Get Pokemon Typing DS, and it comes with a keyboard. It's typing of the Pokemon, as I call it, and yeah, that should be fun. I'm not that much into Pokemon, but for 250 yen with a keyboard, how can I not get the game? Come on. All right, let's degrade with Game Boy Advance. Zelda Minish Cap, 1,000 yen. It's usually 1,500. Zelda Minish Cap is an amazing Zelda game, by the way. Super Mario Advance, which is a I don't want to get the other Super Mario Advance games because there's no point really, but this one is a remake of Mario 2, but it's actually a weird remake because it adds some features and stuff. Instead of just pulling out the regular turnips, you can also pull out huge ones, and it has some, and it's different. It's not exactly just a plain remake. That's why I got this, and it was only 250 yen, so yeah. And for the same price, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, a puzzle platforming thing that I've never actually played, but it looks pretty good, so I'm gonna try it now. Devolving further into Game Boy Color, I actually I always wanted to get more Game Boy Color games, but there doesn't seem to be that many that are actually that great. But I found a few here. First one, Zelda, Oracle of Ages. Why not? Because I have Oracle of Seasons, 200 yen. I have no idea why it's that cheap, really, but yeah. Another well-known one that I've been looking for, not finding it a lot of times. It's Biohazard Gaiden, aka Resident Evil Gaiden, 1,500 yen. It's usually more than that. Never tried it. Looks interesting. I wanted to see if it's as bad as people think. It probably is the worst Resident Evil game, but it doesn't look bad. So. And then 2 games that are out of nowhere came out for my willingness, my desire to find Game Boy Color games that are, like platformer action games. The first one is Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter or whatever. It's made by Konami. It looks let's just look up what this is. It's probably some fucking RPG or something like it usually is. It feels like RPG or strategy or something, or a card battler. But it turned out to be a side scroller with RPG elements. Looks like Castlevania, made by Konami. So for whatever that was, 250 yen, obviously gonna try it. And next one is a weird one. It's Cyborg Kuro-chan 2. It's also by Konami. It's a side scroller, but it's like the character runs infinitely. You press jump, I think, to jump obstacles while controlling a cursor to shoot stuff in the background. So looks interesting for, I think it was like 100 yen or 250 yen again maybe. Really damn cheap. Gonna try it for that price. Now, degrading to the bottom of the game, the portable barrel, it's with Game Boy. I got 5 Game Boy games. First one, Donkey Kong, 750 yen. Had this before and got rid of it, but it's the ultimate Donkey Kong. After the first 4 levels, which is just regular Donkey Kong, you get like 95 more levels. It's as much Donkey Kong as you could ever want, and I think I'm more open to that now. Second one is Daiku no Gensan Roboto Teikoku something. It's just, I have another Hammer and Harry already. This is just more Hammer and Harry. Can't get enough of that wonderful hammer. Here's a 250 yen game, Tiny Toon Adventures 2. The first one I found also, but it was really ugly, so I didn't get it. I also found Tiny Toon Adventures 3, but after looking it up, Tiny Toon Adventures 1 and 2 are platformers, but the third one is like a weird sports game. Probably going to be a fun platformer by their track record. So Batman, a little expensive at 1,300 I thought, but it's Batman. The cool thing about this game is that it feels like the Super Mario Land of Batman games. You have really small graphics. It doesn't try to look like an NES game exactly, but it looks pretty good. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. And then Kaeru no Tamini Kane wa Naru. It's for the Frog the Bell Tolls or something. I saw this game on Game Center CX a long time ago. Looks like It's from Nintendo actually, but it looks like Link's Awakening, but with a kind of a froggy storyline. I'm not sure, but it's like Link's Awakening, yeah. So it has this Zelda type stuff, and it has like side-scrolling views. So I'm not sure what it is, but interesting to try out. All right, we have the conclusion in our sights. Now we're moving on to miscellaneous, not actually games, but game-related. The game maker Sunsoft. Again, really ironic and annoying with this one. I've been trying to find it in book offs forever since I got here. 6 months, can't find it. Found it once it's in a big camera here in Kyoto for like 3,600. It's like, I'm not gonna buy that. I just want to try it. The other game makers like Jaleco, IRM, they're online, but Sunsoft isn't, and Sunsoft is the one I'm interested in. So I find it on Yahoo Auctions, like the rental version, which is just the disc in a regular ass cover. I put a bid on that for like 700 yen or whatever. It was really cheap. But then I walk into Book Off in Nagoya and I found the real thing for 950, which is also a really good price. So I was like, I'm gonna get 2 of them, but this is the real one. And what sealed the deal is that I actually didn't know. The real one comes with a little booklet, which it has like text stuff on about the games. I had to get this. Now I have to get rid of the other one, but of course I'm going to keep the one with the book. I watched the actual thing, though. It wasn't that great as I hoped. They focus way too much on the early games like Atlantis no Nazo and Super Arabian and whatever. They're really more about the quote-unquote classics instead of the real classics, which is Blaster Master, Batman, Gremlins 2, Rough World, Gimmick. One strategy guide, Nazo no Murasamejo, which is a game for Famicom Disk System that I have planned for a Famifun for forever, but I can't beat anything in it, so I have no idea where to go and everything. So for 1,000 yen, I got this guide, which has maps, which you can see a little of. It's gonna be useful. In Nagoya, I bought this Proto Man figure set, which I actually saw in Sweden at one point, but didn't get. This was, of course, way cheaper. Already assembled it. You can look at it here. Looks cool, doesn't it? All right, 2 more things. And in Sapporo, they had this. I stumbled onto this shop that I just opened a few days ago. They had video game stuff and apparel, and they had shoes. Looked like, well, I actually talked about this already in my previous video, but I bought this T-shirt. Let's have a look. Of course, being Japanese size, this is the biggest size they had there, and it's still a little too snug for my body, but it works. Barely, but it works. And finally, something I absolutely could not find anywhere. I had to resort to Yahoo Auctions, and it was still 5,000 yen, but I finally have it, and it's better than not having it at all. It's Yakuza. Well, yes, but what is this? What does it say on the cover? It's too blurry to actually read, but it's Butaiban. This is the theater version of Yakuza. 2 discs. It's like impossible to find anywhere else. The stage play. Of course, I had to have this. So that's everything. That was a long ass video, even though I try to keep it as short as possible. I have everything that I want. Now I need to play the games, enjoy myself, and sell the ones that I don't like that much, that like one game that I bought before that that is kind of hanging on by not a thread exactly, but it's not guaranteed I'm going to keep it. It's Pokunyan and Pokurin Adventure, which is one of the more expensive ones. I think I spent 4,000 yen or something on, but it's kind of mediocre. And you can't die in it, and it's cute, but it's I don't know. Like for instance, those kind of games. But then there are other games like Gimmick for one, and Umihara Kawase that are like right now I can't really play them because I'm not good at them. But there is stuff there. I feel like if I can get used to it, I can learn it, then I can really enjoy it. So I'm not getting rid of those. And then there are games like Castlevania Dracula XX or Actracer 2, which are just super duper hard. But what did I say about Castlevania, Batman, Ninja Gaiden, Contra? I'm never going to be able to beat those, but I actually did. So who knows? So I'm not going to really getting rid of those because of that. So that's everything. Thank you for watching. Let's go play some damn games.